Good morning. Just waiting for people to join. Just waiting for people to join. I know, Piggy. Okay, people, I forgot my coffee. Not good. There we go. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello, Facebook, Instagram. Happy Monday. Welcome back for another week. It's Monday, June 8th. I can't believe it's June. Blowing me away. We've got some beautiful weather here in Arizona right now. It was getting really hot, and then today it's like actually, like there's actually, I don't want to say a nip in the air, but it kind of, like to us Arizonans, it kind of feels a little bit cool. We got Piggy back there having a grand time with her toy, so pardon the snorts and the noise, but at least she's distracted. Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone. So today, it's National Best Friend Day, really? Gosh, you know, I missed National Donut Day last week. I don't know how I missed that one. I have some good friends. We always joke about donuts because they, my kids love donuts. And obviously, I try to focus on nutrition, so I'm not really loving it when my kids go out to get donuts. But then again, you know, But I missed it, National Donut Day, and now I'm missing, you know, I didn't know it was National Best Friend Day. Well, happy Best Friend Day to all of you. June 8th, good to know. All right, so we're going to talk about the almonds today. Now, I know you think almond, what a weird topic. Like, that's not anything to do with your health, but I have to tell you, the research on almonds is unbelievable, particularly when it comes to weight management. So for any of you that are trying to lose body fat, lose weight, improve your health, improve your cardiovascular health, your blood sugar, almonds are an amazing way to do that. And if you know me, you know that I care a lot about what food does for our body and giving our body nutrition through food as well, so that we're not supplementing all the time. I mean, granted, you have to supplement and sometimes you can't get everything you need for your body, but if you have a good foundation of food and you know what food you're putting in your mouth and what it's doing for you, that's one of my main goals here, is to educate you on that. And the almond is a big one, really big one. Now, for those of you with nut allergies, kind of sucks, right? Because you can't have the almonds, but we're going to talk about almonds. So I am Dr. Tricia Pingel, and this is your morning checkup on this beautiful Monday morning. And we're going to talk about almonds, what's in an almond, and what it actually does for your health. And if you don't know this already, the main diseases that we have in America are all helped by almonds. Tons of research, really cool research. You're going to be blown away, I swear. I know, on a nut, about a nut. So I have almond milk in my coffee. So I'm getting my dose of almonds as well. So let's talk about it. So as most of you know, I spend a lot of time talking about stress and how stress has an impact on the body and what stress does to our nutrition, right? And so eating really well and eating a lot of plants is something that I always boast, because you can get so much power for your punch by eating plants. You need all these mineral repletion and protein and omega fatty acids and such. And the almond is one of those that needs more credit because it really is quite the superfood. I have seen people completely change their health by just changing their diet. And you know, this is well documented. I think most of us know that diet does make a difference. Exercise does make a difference, right? It's just sometimes it's hard to stick with it, right? So let's talk about it. Almonds contain numerous nutrients. I mean, it's vast, okay? It's not just one thing. They are rich in vitamin E, which has been shown to reduce oxidative stress, which has to do with damage to cells, so keeping your cells healthy. As you may be aware, oxidative stress is linked to many of the main conditions that we see here in America, primarily cancers, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, fatty liver disease, atherosclerosis, and more. So vitamin E is one that is talked about a lot when you talk about almonds, but there are so many more. nutritional benefits to an almond, so much more than vitamin E. We have magnesium, which, by the way, just to remind you, for those of you that follow, that's about 80% of Americans are deficient in magnesium, right? So let's focus on foods that give us some natural magnesium, almonds being one of them. Magnesium, manganese, copper, phosphorus, riboflavin. They have wonderful proteins. They have healthy fats. That are all linked to lowering heart disease and other inflammatory conditions. They are also ridiculously versatile. Piggy, what is it that you are after? Can you guys see her back there? Oh. Okay. Here you go, Piggy. She cracks me up. But they're incredibly versatile. So if you look at my recipes online, you'll see that often I use almond flour instead of wheat flour, or even instead of gluten-free blend flour. And a lot of people think it's because it's gluten-free. Well, yes. However, it's because it's so highly nutritious. So if I'm gonna make cookies for my kids, if I use almond flour, I give them more nutrition than if I don't. So it's a highly nutritive flour. You can also make milks out of it, sauces, you can top salads, you can add it to sandwiches. I mean, almonds are so ridiculously versatile. Any nut is, but almond in particular. Almond butter. I have recipes on my website, cookies, popsicles. If you haven't tried the chocolate chip blondie loaf, you should, made out of almond flour as well. So then you can have a little treat, but you're actually giving your body nourishment as well, which I think is something that we as a nation could learn how to consume more of, because we are very treat based, right? And yes, Piggy is busy. She's very busy back there running around with something or other that she'll probably lose again in a minute, and I'll have to go grab. So one of the main questions that I get from people is in regards to dairy milk and almond milk. First of all, why am I not so pro dairy milk? Because it has a lot of inflammatory components in it. There's a lot of hormones in a lot of the milk. I'm not talking about right off the farm. I'm talking about processed, what you buy in a grocery store. And what most people say is, well, we have to drink dairy milk because of the calcium and the vitamin D. So I want to dispel a little myth here. Almond milk actually has twice the amount of calcium and twice the amount of vitamin D than 2% dairy milk. Twice the amount. So I'm not going to take that excuse anymore. On top of it, a cup of almond milk. And what I did is the best, I did an unsweetened vanilla flavor almond milk, because it has a little bit of, the vanilla has a little bit of a sweetener in it. So 1 cup of vanilla unsweetened almond milk compared to 1 cup of 2% dairy milk. Okay? Almond milk had, like a quarter of the calories. So 30 calories compared to 124. Had half the fat, and they were good fats, right? They're all unsaturated. Far less carbs, 1 carb on the almond milk compared to 12 carbs on the dairy milk. 0 sugars in the almond milk, although if some of them are sweetened, so watch that. And dairy milk, 12 grams of sugar. The cholesterol was higher in the dairy milk, and the vitamin D was half in the dairy milk to the almond milk, and half in the calcium to the almond milk, and less in iron than the almond milk. So the almond milk rose above without question. I do have a graphic on this in the article, and I'm sure it will be circulated here shortly on the differences between almond milk and dairy milk. So no more telling me that you have to drink dairy in order to get your calcium. The almond is a great way to do that. So let's dive into some of these studies, right? This is cool, right? What brand of almond milk? I have a few brands of almond milk that I really love. I would say I love the Forager brand, I love Elmhurst. I love Khalifa Farms. My kids drink the Silk almond milk because we get it from Costco, and they literally go through gallons at a time in a day. So find one that you like. I will say that they all taste a little bit different. So if you find one, you're not thrilled with it, try a different one. I love to make my own almond milk. That's one of my favorite ways to have it, and it's so easy. So every so often, the bulk section at the grocery store will have a sale on almonds, and I just buy a few pounds of it, soak them overnight in a high-speed blender, and whip them up in the morning and pour them through a cheesecloth or a strainer, and you have almond milk right there. It's that easy. It really honestly doesn't take that long. The longest part is just soaking them overnight, which you don't have to monitor. So very, very easy. You can add some vanilla bean to it. Like I, shave a little bit the inside of a vanilla bean, or you can add some dates just to kind of sweeten it up. But almond milk is fantastic. If you haven't ever made your own, you will blow yourself away by how yummy it is. But try different brands over there. Just give it a go and see what you like. So let's talk about, and thank you, great question, by the way. I try to catch your questions. Hello, 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 hello. Yes, hello, everybody. All right. Let's talk about some studies of almonds. I swear to God, some of these are so crazy. You won't even believe it. So, first of all, I want to remind you that heart disease is the leading cause of death in America. 1 person every 37 seconds. That is a lot of deaths per day. I think when I calculated it out, it was somewhere around like 2,500 or 2,600 deaths per day in America from cardiovascular disease on average, right? Which is a lot. This is a big deal. Accounts for 1 in 4 deaths every year. So anything we can do to help our heart and reduce cardiovascular disease is only going to help us, okay? And prevent it. There was a 2018 review that looked at 50 different studies that confirmed that almond consumption can help reduce the risk factors for heart disease. They confirmed that adding almonds to your diet not only supported healthy cholesterol levels, but also reduced other important risk factors. In fact, they confirmed that eating around 1/3 of a cup of almonds each day would help reduce elevated cholesterol, okay? Now, that's important because cholesterol is linked to higher cholesterol in people is linked to a lot of heart disease. Also, it's probably the number one medication. One of the number one medications that we take here in America are for high cholesterol. So if we can correct cholesterol abnormalities with diet, we should do so, right? I see there's a question about the cholesterol. Yeah, between almonds, there's different types of cholesterol. You have plant cholesterols versus you have meat cholesterols, so I see your question over there, Victorio. The article does clarify some of that. All right, so supports heart health. Number 2, goes hand in hand with heart health. What's another top condition here in America? Diabetes. Diabetes is huge, right? Diabetes goes hand in hand with heart disease. It goes hand in hand with inflammatory, goes hand in hand with poor diet choices, goes hand in hand with obesity. Okay, so one of the amazing benefits of almonds that you may not be aware of is that it actually helps support healthy blood sugar, mostly due to their fat and fiber consumption, okay? So in 2012, there was a review that this was supported by numerous studies, that consuming almonds can actually improve the risk of developing chronic degenerative diseases, especially in people with metabolic syndrome, which is a type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance. On top of that, there was a study in 2013 that revealed when people with an increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes consumed almonds every day, and they did 43 grams. So I think that's about 1/3 of a cup. As a snack for 4 weeks, it lowered their post-meal serum glucose levels. So their blood sugar levels went down when they did almonds as a snack rather than something else. And I'm going to come back to more of that. Because all of these are kind of intertwined, right? This inflammatory, diabetes, heart disease, they all kind of go hand in hand. So let's talk about the anti-inflammatory aspect of almonds in general. It's well documented that chronic inflammation is linked to disease. Well documented. And as I've talked about so many times, chronic stress is linked to chronic inflammation, right? So yes, we have to work on a stress response. We have to work on calming our bodies down. We have to work on giving ourselves nutritious food, and almond should be included in that. So in a 2013 study, the researchers decided to investigate the effect of almonds on inflammation levels in people with type 2 diabetes, okay? Which people with type 2 diabetes tend to have higher inflammatory markers, which is why it makes them a great sample for this. Amazingly, the researchers found that when the participants replaced 20% of their daily caloric intake with almonds, which was approximately eating about 1/2 cup a day for 4 weeks, they also improved their inflammation levels. So not only did their blood sugar, postprandial or post-meal blood sugar go down, but they also lowered their inflammatory markers. Specifically, they lowered them anywhere from 10.3 to 15.7%. Now, find me medications that actually lower, inflammation that much without massive side effect. Okay, that's huge. 10 to 15% is pretty big, especially when all it took was a half a cup of almonds a day, right? And these almonds could be consumed anyway. In the research, they had them eat whole almonds, but this could be in almond milk, this could be in almond flowers, this could be consumed in any way, right? They also, so they confirmed on these numerous studies that incorporating almonds into your diet will actually improve your inflammation, lower your oxidative stress, and improve your blood sugar. Wow, right? Find me a medication that does all three of those. Right? No, it doesn't. You have to take multiple medications and then they all work on something else. So to find food that can do these things is unbelievable. And in the same study, they also found that hunger was reduced. So in those that ate the almonds, they had less likelihood of overeating or reaching for things that they shouldn't be eating, which then obviously further improved their health as well. So this brings us into weight management, which has to be probably the best stats out there on almonds. You won't believe it. We are a culture of weight management, right? We are a culture of trying to lose weight, doing all these fad diets. We've got all of these big corporations that send you pre-fabbed meals that focus on weight loss. And what they focus on is pounds lost. But a lot of them don't really focus a lot on body composition, fat composition. And so to do some of these studies with plants and see actual reduction in fat, reduction in abdominal fat, and all of these things that are risk factors for diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and inflammation is unbelievable. Like, this stuff's crazy. So let's talk about it. So there was a study that was published in 2017 that showed that almond consumption benefits body fat mass. So the participants ate 56 grams of almonds. So that's going to be a little bit more than a half a cup, maybe about 3/4 cup. And they ate this before a meal. They saw significant improvements in body fat mass, body fat percentages, and abdominal fat levels. So let's talk about what I mean by significant, right? After 16 weeks, the participants saw the following on average. So they took all the data and they averaged it together. 10% decrease in body fat mass, 35% decrease in body fat percentage, and 25% decrease in abdominal fat. Now, I went online and I thought, I'm going to look up what the stats are for some of these major weight loss companies, none of which talk about abdominal fat, decrease in body fat percentage. All they talk about is the average weight loss per week. So you should expect to lose anywhere from 1/2 to 2 pounds a week. But they're not talking about what you're losing, right? Are you losing muscle? Are you losing water? Are you losing fat? This actually looked at body fat reduction. That's huge. 25% decrease in abdominal fat. Did you know that abdominal fat is highly linked to the development of diabetes, right? This hip to waist ratio. So adding almonds in for 16 weeks, I mean, now granted, you can't be eating chocolate chip cookies the rest of the day, but I mean, isn't that crazy? So they even went further on that, and what they did is they looked at, oh my God, I even have more stats on that. That's crazy. I'm going to talk about a comparison in carbohydrates in a second because it's unbelievable, but listen to this. 24-week trial on 65 adults classified as either overweight or obese. Researchers found that consuming 84 grams, which is about 2/3 cup of almonds every day, resulted in an 18% decrease in weight. 18% decrease in weight. So now we can compare this to some of those major weight loss programs, right? That you're spending tons of money on, and look at just adding almonds in to have similar, if not better, results. Waist circumference also decreased by 14% and fat mass by 30%. Okay, so when they compared the group who self-selected their complex carbohydrates to the group that just chose almonds, the results were unbelievable. So they basically said, okay, let's see what happens if we play with the factors a little bit. So let's take some people and let them pick another good complex carbohydrate as a snack, right? And then we'll have the group that just does almonds. And the almond group, listen to this, the almond group compared to the self-select carbohydrate group. 62% greater reduction in weight in the almond group versus somebody who picked a different complex carbohydrate. 50% greater reduction in waist circumference and 56% greater reduction in fat mass than the self-selecting group. Crazy. I'm just giving you a second with that one, right? Someone's asking about workout. Listen, you can't just eat almonds and lose weight. I'm not going to lie to you and be like, oh yeah, if you just put almonds in, you'll be fine. No, you have to be working out. You have to have a well-rounded diet. But what this changes is that a lot of the times people go on a diet that helps manage their food, right? And they have this exercise program and they don't lose weight. And they're frustrated because they're paying all this money to lose weight. They're doing this program, they're doing their exercise, they're doing all these things. And they're like, yeah, but I'm not losing anything. So for those of you that have been attempting to do this and are really trying to clean up your diet and you're really trying to exercise and you're trying to do these things to be well for yourself, try considering almonds as one of those bases in your diet, because obviously it has a better outcome on fat mass and body composition than other sorts of complex carbohydrates. So for example, many people will eat an apple as their snack, or they'll eat, like a whole grain bread or something to that effect. Choose almonds instead is what I'm saying. This is not something where you take a magic almond and your weight falls off your body. But what I'm saying is there are numerous benefits to it. And my whole point when I talk about foods is when you put something in your mouth, you need to know what it does for you. If you can't say what it does for you, you shouldn't be eating it. It's as simple as that, right? The almond does so much for you, it's unbelievable. So we've already talked about how it lowers inflammation, improves cardiovascular health, lowers blood sugar, helps improve fat loss. It also supports gut health. In fact, there's a lot of links to it actually improving your natural gut flora. Crazy, right? And this can absolutely help with multiple conditions, as we've already talked about. So almonds are amazing. Almond flour, almond butter, almond milk, whole almonds, sprinkle them on everything. I mean, you just, do whatever. I have someone saying to soak your almonds first. Yeah, it's always great to soak them. And it's always good there's more nutrient absorption from that. For those of you that are new to almonds, I'm even happy if people just eat almonds, right? But as you get better at it, you'll learn to soak them. That's why making almond milk is always so nice, because you soak your almonds overnight and then in the morning just blend them up. And that's a nice way to do it. But you can soak and sprout them. You can soak them and then you can put them in the refrigerator. Soak them, drain them, and then put them in the refrigerator. And then you can use them throughout the week to make all sorts of different recipes, right? You can make your own almond flour as well. You can use the almond pulp from the almond milk. Once you blend it up and you strain it, you have all this almond pulp that you can cook with as well. There are a lot of benefits to the almond. And I think now that we've moved more into this, away from a lot of people doing dairy, there's more education about the benefits of almond and nuts, as it was, maybe 10 years ago. When I went vegetarian, God knows how long ago, oh my Lord, 25 years ago, I don't know, somewhere in there, there was nothing alternative to dairy. There was nothing. Soy, maybe. Now there's so many options. Someone's mentioning dark chocolate almond silk. Yeah, dark chocolate, chocolate almond milk. My kids love chocolate almond milk. If they're going to drink chocolate milk, I would rather have them drink chocolate almond milk than chocolate dairy milk, right? And if we can make our own, even better. I make them hot chocolates out of, high quality almond milk. When I say high quality almond milk, take a look at the back of the box, okay? If there are a ton of additives to it, it's not as pure as others. You'll see, for example, there's one called Elmhurst that's literally just almonds and water, okay? Now you're gonna pay more for that. It's more perishable, right? But you can go as simple as that, and then it goes up from there, anywhere with, sometimes they add some additives and others add more. So I just encourage you, if you're not someone who's incorporated almonds into your diet, to take a closer look at them, okay? And look at ways that you can heal your body from within with nutrition, because that's why I'm here. You don't have to pay a doctor to tell you to eat almonds. I'm telling you that they are incredibly beneficial. I have a person asking about one type of nut better than another. All the nuts no matter which nut you pick, have a very full nutritional profile. They're all slightly different. For example, Brazil nuts have a lot more selenium than other nuts, but other nuts still have selenium, right? Walnuts have a lot of benefits in the fatty acids, a lot of magnesium, some more than other nuts. But in general, nuts have a well-rounded foundation of nutrition when it comes to vitamins, minerals, macro and microproteins, or macro and micronutrients. So nuts are a great thing to incorporate. And if you can rotate different types of nuts throughout your week, even better. That's what I do. I rotate. Some days I do pistachios, other days walnuts, other days almonds. I always have almond in there somewhere. And I usually have walnuts in my day as well. And cashews, there's a ton of them. They all have a little bit different benefit. Okay? I have a lot of questions today. As far as almond consumption during intermittent fasting, this is all intermittent fasting is something that you work very closely with your doctor on. I have a wide variety of people that do intermittent fasting in different ways. Some, do 16 hours, some do full day fasts. So it is something to kind of work out. However, during the time where you're allowed to eat, almonds are usually recommended just because they hold off hunger very well. They give you a lot of bang for your buck. So definitely talk to your doctor about that. I don't see any contraindication between eating almonds while you're intermittent fasting if you're doing it during your window of eating. And that's just my personal opinion. I think almonds are a huge benefit to your health and should not be avoided unless you're allergic to them. And I have some friends who are totally allergic to them and I feel so bad. And when they come over to eat, I have to remember that because I cook with almonds all the time. So thank you for all the questions today, guys. Nice to see you all. I will repost this and I'll be here tomorrow. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Dr. Tricia Pingel and this is your morning checkup. And today we talked about almonds. I don't know what tomorrow's going to be, but I'll come up with something good. Still taking suggestions. If there's anything you'd like to hear about, just pop it below. I'll be reposting this on Instagram, on IGTV, so give me a little bit of time to get it up on my feed. And if you have any questions, feel free to write below it. Facebook, you're good to go. So this will post right away. Any questions you have, just go ahead and put it below. If you guys really like this, isn't it helpful to you? Please come back, check out more. I post all of these on YouTube as well. And the article on almonds is the brand new article, just came out last night at drpingel.com. I encourage you to read through it, educate yourself a little bit, and have some almonds for a snack today. That's my advice. So thank you so much to all of you. Much love. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.